The Deshaun Watson experiment in Cleveland has been a complete failure, and really it was kind of predictable that it was going to go that way because originally Deshaun Watson didn't want to go to Cleveland, so that's why they had to offer him the fully guaranteed contract, even in spite of all his off-the-field issues. And then once he finally gets on the field, he's not living up to that contract at all, and you could have made the excuse for Russ last year, but now I think it's about time that we really start putting the blame on Deshaun Watson and his decline as a player after not seeing the field for multiple years, because the Browns are paying him that much money. He should produce something, and he hasn't. He hasn't produced one bit, and there was a point where the Cleveland Browns, 50% of their plays in this Week 1 game were for 0 yards or negative yards. So half of their offensive plays, they failed to gain a single yard. And Deshaun Watson, I believe he was, 0 for 10 on passes over 15 yards, which is the worst ever since air yards started being recorded. Deshaun Watson right now is a historically bad quarterback in terms of coming back, and especially, being really good for the Texans, how he was previously compared to now. This is a historic collapse, absolute collapse. There's no other way to put it. Meanwhile, Baker Mayfield is thriving over in Tampa. And not only is Baker Mayfield having more team success for Tampa Bay, he's also putting up a lot better numbers than Deshaun Watson. This past week, he had 289 yards and 4 touchdowns. He looked like one of the best QBs in the league. He's playing top 10 at the moment. Meanwhile, Deshaun, he is not sniffing that top 10. He's top 32, I'll give him that. But Baker Mayfield, I want to talk about him because I don't want to just hate on Deshaun the whole time, and there's a new allegation out against him as well now. Man, he's like just, even taking away the rust that came with it, he's the worst guy to offer a fully guaranteed deal just because of all the off-field stuff as well as not playing in years. So just horrible mismanagement by the Browns to let go of Baker Mayfield and to go with Deshaun. And with Baker, he has not only had the team success, the production is there as well. He led them to the divisional round last year, had, I believe, 26. He had his most efficient year last year. I believe it was also the first time he passed 4,000 yards, and he's built chemistry with the team as well. Him and Mike Evans especially have a great connection, and then the Bucs just got a new rookie wide receiver coming in. He scored a touchdown in his first game, his first catch. So, that's only going to be good for his morale moving forward. And really, Baker is asked to handle a lot of this load because the Buccaneers don't have a great rushing attack. I like Rachaad White, but he's a very good receiving back. However, their actual running game leaves a lot to be desired. So Baker is asked to carry a lot of the load, and he's done just fine with that. I think the Browns absolutely fumbled what they had. He was one of the best QBs they've ever had, and they let him go because they saw Deshaun. They saw his seasons with the Texans and thought, hey, we can get that and we can get out of QB purgatory, and they let go of the best QB that they've had in recent memory. And, he also had success there. He didn't just put up production. Just like in Tampa, he also had the team success to back it up. He led the Browns to their first playoff win in 20 years, and that was against the division rival in Pittsburgh. So Baker was dealt a terrible hand, and he has made the most of it. Meanwhile, the Browns, Deshaun Watson, he was handed all the money, all the hands in the world, and they've made the least of it. So it's a very interesting parallel. One team is thriving right now, and their quarterback is as well, while the other, they got a little bit greedy, and it didn't work out. If you enjoyed this video, it would be great if you could find it in you to like, subscribe, maybe check out the full podcast on Spotify, follow us on there, follow us on Instagram. I know realistically this podcast isn't going to go anywhere ultimately, whether it's via the segments on YouTube or the entire podcast itself, but I want to get into the sports broadcasting business. I want to be able to promote thought-provoking discussions about the NBA, and I would love to do it via State of the Association. Thank you if you made it all the way through.